There are moments which forever shape a nation, times of great hardship or sudden shifts which prompt deep introspection and profound change. Often it's war or economic depression. Sometimes it's revolt. And it certainly seems we are witnessing a nation-defining moment in the United States. Over the past few weeks, we've seen rival political supporters kill each other. We've seen vigilantes shoot protesters, demonstrators destroy buildings and force leaders from their homes, and special militarised units deployed to American cities. All the while, the chorus demanding major systemic change grows louder. This week, President Donald Trump visited the city of Kenosha, a flashpoint in the unrest, where he called for an end to the political violence. But the violence continues. The root problems remain unaddressed. So where is all this heading? How much can the country take? And what can be done to resolve the issues which gave rise to the unrest? How will the United States respond to this nation-defining moment? From Wisconsin to the White House, an eruption of unfettered anger. Buildings torched, cities shut down, troops and citizens clash on city streets. Tens of thousands of enraged Americans demanding change and justice.
People are fed up. This is the largest response we've ever had to police violence.
Not since the civil rights movement in the 60s has there been such unrest. The catalyst in 2020, repeated police killings.
Hobble. Okay. I'll grab that.
From George Floyd, choked to death, face down on a Minneapolis street, to Breonna Taylor, mistakenly shot 8 times during a no-knock raid.
We should consider it radical that we have somebody like Tamir Rice, who's holding a BB gun, to be shot, and that there's no justice for any of these families, and that a lot of these police officers get left off the hook. Matter of fact, they don't even get jail time or prison time. What they get is promotions. They get perhaps, a paid vacation.
The protests are disparate, but the general aims are the same. The prosecution of officers involved in police brutality, greater oversight for law enforcement, and, most controversially, defunding police.
It's defunding policing budgets in local governments and transferring those resources into things that will actually, based on peer-reviewed research, what actually brings public safety to communities.
The months of public action have produced some meaningful change. Officers involved in some of the notorious incidents have been arrested. Several cities and states have enacted police reforms, and there's been a marked increase in awareness of the issues. Sports stars, celebrities, companies, and politicians have highlighted racial inequality.
People are seeing and understanding the value of Black life and Black lives. Is actually very moving.
But some of the actions on the streets divide opinion. Critics have described protesters as unruly and aimless, often conflating those who want change with those who are simply causing trouble.
But I think it's important that their actions not overshadow the actions of those who are protesting nonviolently and making legitimate demands.
Rioters and looters have caused millions of dollars in damage and have tainted the Black Lives Matter movement. According to CivEQ's polling, 53% of the population supported BLM in May. That's now dropped to 46%.
Half of white Americans in the 60s said that the civil rights movement was going too far. And so I think the fact that people are still fighting and still battling, however the media frames their protests and their right to do so, is very admirable.
The response to the protests and violence has become a key issue in the US presidential campaign. President Trump is presenting a hard line. He controversially sent federal officers to some cities, has refused to meet Black Lives Matter leaders, is touting himself as tough on crime, and painting his opponent, Joe Biden, as a supporter of rioters.
A weak guy like Joe Biden didn't even bring law and order up as a subject for discussion in the entire Democrat National Convention.
While Biden denies he wants to defund police and claims Trump lacks the necessary compassion.
The words of a president matter. No matter if they're good, bad, or indifferent, they matter.
The polls are favouring Biden. 47% of voters say they trust him to handle public safety, compared with 39% who have more faith in Trump, according to a Morning Consult survey. This may be a fractious moment, a time of upheaval and unrest, though it's also a time where the US may finally address systemic, decades-old issues. But the risks are great. Missteps could result in even more chaos and deaths. It will take considerable commitment, courage, and compassion to pull back a nation on the edge.